All right, Dan, how are we going to do this? How are we going to put blue cheese into a dessert and make it taste like a dessert?
That's what's the beauty of all of this right now. We're going to make this happen, and it's going to be so good.
You know, we're going to put it with some sweet stuff, I think, is how
That's
we're
going
going
to
to
make the difference. Going to cut it.
What this is basically a blue cheese and pear turnover. I think it's real simple. It just takes a little bit to fool with the dough, and we're going to do that in just a second. We're going to start out by, I've got 2 tablespoons of fresh orange juice here. We're going to put about a tablespoon of flour in with that and just mix that up. And at the same time we do that, what we're doing here is making a thickener for our pears. And at the same time we do that, we're going to put about 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon in there. Now the next thing we're going to do, butter. You can't have dessert without butter in it. We've got our pan warming up here. And we're going to melt this butter. And then what we're going to do is here's a little more of that sweet, some honey. About 2 tablespoons of honey is going to go in there, and about 2 tablespoons of butter. And that's going to give us a real good base for our pears, a little juicy sauce to go around the outside of it. And that sweetness is going to help to counteract some of that blue cheese, but the combination is unbelievable. You know, I was talking before about the pairing between blue cheese and fruit. An Asian pear with some of that blue brie is probably my favorite combination of any type of fruit to come along.
You know, a real simple dessert recipe would be to take the blue cheese like we have it right now and either drizzle honey over the top of it as something to serve, or else also to take some fig spread from our Mediterranean experience from our olive bar that you could also drizzle over the top of that, and it just really offsets.
You know, we've used that fig spread in a couple recipes in the last couple shows, and it is fantastic. Now we've got 1 nice sized pear here, and I use red pears. You could use 2 pears if you wanted to, because they will cook down a little bit. We're just going to put them in our pan here, and we're going to let them cook for probably 1 minute to 2 minutes just to get them nice and tender. We don't want to cook them down all the way though, because in cooking them down all the way they would get too mushy and they wouldn't fill up our turnover very much.
And you want some bite out of that when you bite into that.
Exactly.
So some firmness, yep.
Now that our pears have cooked down a little bit, we're going to take our orange juice, flour, and cinnamon mixture and just put that in, and you'll notice that'll start thickening up that sauce right away. See how it's getting a little color to it?
Yep.
And I wish those people could smell what's going on right now, because that cinnamon is incredible. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to turn the heat off on this, and we're going to take and put just about a teaspoon of orange zest on it. Now I'm using a microplane here, which we've used on the show plenty of times before, and y'all always want to be sure just to get the orange part. You don't want to get down into the white part where the pith is, because that's very bitter. And we're just going to put just about a teaspoon of that in there. We're going to stir that up real good.
We're starting to draw a crowd now.
We are. You know, the smell-o-vision going through Plow and Hearth here has got people coming to see us.
For sure.
Now, you've taken a piece of pastry dough and gotten it ready for us. What have you done?
This was a pastry dough that I rolled out to a 10 by 10, and basically what we did is we cut it into 4 5 by 5 squares, and that's what we're going to use to then make our empanada.
Now you floured your pastry board before you did that,
we did.
Because pastry dough, once it thaws properly, gets really, really sticky. So you have to flour it so it doesn't stick, and that flour is not going to hurt what we're doing at all.
Not at all. Now we just rolled that out with a rolling pin, although you showed me yesterday how to do it with a can. So
yeah,
you know, it's amazing.
If it's round and you can roll with it, a can. I think I was using a can of Pam spray to do it with yesterday. Right. So you can use just about anything. And what we're going to do, we've got those into nice 5 by 5 squares. We're just going to put a little spoonful.
I'm going to follow behind you with some blue cheese on top of that.
Right in the center of those. And we want to leave at least a 1/2 inch all the way around, and you only want to fill up half of that triangle. Because by doing that, you're going to leave space for us to fold it over and get a real nice turnover here. Actually, I think we're calling these empanadas.
Right.
Which is a fancy name for turnover. And you can put as much or as little blue cheese on these as you want. Which blue cheese are we using on this?
We're just using the Salemville Blue Crumbles.
And that sounds good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take 1 egg.
I think those are done.
Just a touch. I think you're right.
Perfect.
Man, that looks good. Just a touch of milk in with that egg. And we're going to make a little egg wash here. Now this is where you might want to have a pair of gloves, because it's going to get just a little bit messy. We're going to take some of that egg wash and just come around that 1/2 inch square edge that we left there. Don't want that to fall. Nope. Then we're just going to take this and fold it over. Going to have to tuck some of that back up in there. Now these, we're just going to serve them just like they are, but you can serve them with ice cream, just about anything.
Oh, those look good. I can't wait to try these when they're finished out.
Yeah, I think they're going to look real good.
We've had quite a wide variety of different flavors today.
I think so. We spread it all the way across the board. Now, you know, of course, thanks to the miracle of television, we have placed some of these right here in the oven. And this is how they come out of the oven. And man, they look great, don't they? Nice gloss over the top there after you brush them with the egg wash. And I think this gives us a great, great ending to our meal. Dan, I'm not sure how we did it, but we put blue cheese in this and it's going to be fantastic. When we come back, we're going to put all this blues together and I promise you, it'll be anything but the blues in your mind.